So the basic clinical exam for the thumb, we're going to start with first looking at an inspection to see if we have any issues with any shouldering, any subluxation radially or volarly. We're going to look at two to see the integrity. Do they look like they have any atrophy in their first web space or any shortening of that first web space? And also getting appreciation for what their resting posture looks like. Do they rest in slight hyperextension or an adducted position of the first metacarpal? Then we're going to go through and assess active range of motion. So I'm just going to ask him to come across to perform opposition. So bring your thumbs across to touch, the base of your small finger, and then come all the way out. So that gives us an idea of how he's moving, both CMC, MP, and IP. Perfect, good. And relax. Now we're going to take a look at his passive motion. So what we're going to do is we're going to first assess, do we have a presence of a capsular pattern at the thumb CMC? So I'm going to come in, I'm going to do a bad handshake, coming in with my thumb and index finger to the base of his first metacarpal, coming up and giving a little bit of overpressure. I'm going to compare that to the uninvolved side here, or the involved side, excuse me, here. Going to the end of the range and giving a little bit of overpressure. Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to passively assess his MP, both with flexion and extension, being cautious with extension not to give too much overpressure, and his IP joint. So coming in and assessing passive flexion. And everybody's thumbs are a little different, so it's always important to test that uninvolved side. Some people don't move a lot at the MP. He's quite stiff with his IP hyperextension. Good. Once we've done our passive assessment, now we're going to go on to our resisted tests. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the radial sided tendons of FCR, Ecrb, and L. So coming up, I'm going to have you extend here for me. I want your fingers in extended position. We're going to do a resisted test for FCR. I get my propeller wings out, hold that, hold, and relax, and I'm going to passively stretch. So resisted test looking for a tendinopathy, and our stretch test looking for a tenosynovitis. Hold here, don't let me move you. Hold, and relax, and come back. And now I'm going to take a look at Ecrb and L. So his elbow is in extended position, fingers flexed. I'm going to come in here. Okay, keep your wrist in neutral, please. Come up just a little, perfect. And hold that, don't let me move you. Hold, and relax. And I'm going to come down, passive stretch. Okay, I'll do that same thing over here. Fingers flexed so I don't get EDC. Come in, hold, and relax, and I'm going to come down. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go through some of our resisted tests for the thumb. So we can start off doing hyperextension looking at EPL. So I'm going to bring him in a hyperextended position here. Hold that, don't let me move you. Hold, and relax. And I'm going to do that same thing on the other side, stabilizing his proximal phalanx, come up into hyperextension, and hold that. Good, and relax. Now we're going to take a look at our radial abduction. So I want him to keep his thumb in that maximal loose pack position. I'm going to give you a little resistance. Hold there. Hold, and relax. And we're going to follow up with a passive stretch, where I'm going to have his tuck his thumb in. We're going to do the Eichhoffs, formerly known as Finkelsteins. I'm going to do it in neutral here, as well as in pronation. Good. Okay. Same thing over here. I'm going to come in. I want you to hold that. Don't let me move you. Hold, and relax. Now I'm going to have you tuck in and come down, and here, good. And then in pronation, we're going to repeat that. Perfect. Good, and relax. I'm also going to take a look at his, to see if he has any issues with intersection syndrome. I'm going to have him actively come across his palm and then flex his wrist. Here, looking for provocation of pain here in that intersection region, which is 3 to 4 centimeters proximal to Lister's tubercle. So come across your palm, and I want you to flex. Any problem with that? Perfect. We'll continue with our resisted tests. In this position, I want you to hold that. Don't let me move you. So our resistance for palmar and dorsal adduction is going to be at the MP. Hold that. Good. And hold. Good. And then with flexion and hold. And we're going to do that same thing. So our resisted test on the opposite side, We're going to come in. I'm going to perform resisted palmar abduction. Hold that. Good. Dorsal adduction and hold. Good. And hold. Okay. And now we're going to look at FPL isolated. So I'm going to stabilize here. Okay. Come down. I want you to hold that for me. Good. And relax. We're going to follow up with stretch. Going to have forearm and supination, wrist and extension. Any problem with that?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to come in here. Okay, hold FPL, good, and relax. I'm going to come out and I'm going to stretch. So this concludes the basic clinical exam for the thumb.